Disciple is a noun, not a verb. The problem with the word disciple is that we don't use it much outside church circles. The Hebrew word is talmid, and it simply means a student of a teacher or philosopher, not just a learner but a practitioner of an embodied way of life, one who is diligently working to be with and become like their master. I will argue that the best word for translating talmid into English is the one I've been using for the last few pages, apprentice. This is such an helpful word. It conjures up a mode of education that is intentional, embodied, relational, and practice-based. A type of learning that is totally different than what I grew up with. Jesus' model of apprenticeship was a far cry from our Western educational system. As one pair of scholars put it, learning wasn't so much about retaining data as it was about gaining essential wisdom for living, absorbing it from those around him. This was the ancient method whereby rabbis trained their talmidim, or disciples. To follow Jesus then meant to walk alongside him in a posture of listening, learning, observation, obedience, and imitation. For Jesus' first apprentices, the goal wasn't to pass a test, get a degree, or receive a certificate to frame on your office wall. It was to master the art of living in God's good world by learning from Jesus how to make steady progress into the kingdom of God. It was less like learning chemistry and more like learning jujitsu. But whatever translation you adopt, disciple, apprentice, practitioner, student, follower, let me state the obvious. Talmid is a noun, not a verb. People regularly ask me, who are you discipling? Or who disciple you? But as far as I can tell, not one time in the entire New Testament is disciple used as a verb. Not once. Grammatically speaking, then to use disciple as a verb is bad form. Case in point, just attempt to use any of its synonyms as a verb. Christians. Who are you Christianing? Wait, what? Christian isn't something you do. It is someone you are. Believer. Who are you believering? Help me out there. I don't get it. Do you believe, trust in Jesus or not? Follower. Who are you following? I'm so confused. You either follow Jesus or you don't. People have come to me actually bitter because their former pastors did not disciple them. What they usually mean is that these pastors did not spend one-on-one time with them. While I'm all for pastors giving their time to foster people's growth in Jesus, I will argue that you can't disciple somebody any more than you can Christian them, believer of them, or follower of them. People don't hear me. Please hear me. This is not just semantics. Language matters. Here's why. If disciple is something that is done to you, a verb, then that puts the onus of responsibility for your spiritual formation on someone else, or like your pastor, church, or mentor. But if the disciple is a noun, if it's someone you are or are not, then no one can disciple you but Rabbi Jesus himself. You must choose to accept Jesus' invitation to a life of apprenticeship. If you choose to enroll as a student, his student, and I'm very much hope you do, that means when you wake up tomorrow morning, your entire life is architected to this threefold aim: to be with Jesus, to become like him, to do as he did. This is the animating passion of your existence. The rest are just details, as Einstein said. Tragically, this is not the same thing as being a Christian.